Fuck's sake, no mic. Fuck. Has it been doing that the whole time? So have I just been talking to myself the whole time? Sorry about that. I didn't realise. Yeah. So I was talking about, kind of people, like having to learn the hard way. That they're having to learn life lessons the hard way. Having to go through certain experiences to then really learn it. It's like, yeah, you can understand the theory of something, but oftentimes we will still make the same mistakes even if we've heard it, but then maybe when you get through that yourself, then you can finally learn it and actually apply that to your life and be like, okay, well, I need to be more careful next time to not make that same mistake again, especially if it was a really bad experience that you had. So, but yeah, basically, it's just there's a lot of just dodgy people out there online, like I said, and what you have to realize is that not everybody that you speak to online is genuine, and it's like we all know that, but a lot of people will just do it, and they sort of start to build trust in that. They start to become too trusting too quickly, because somebody might put out a certain kind of vibe which is completely fake. They put out a certain persona of themselves when really they're just a complete troll, or they're just a complete, just a completely scummy person who just can't be honest. But we have to just be, be vigilant. We have to be like, how do I know that you are what you say you are? When people are living secret lives and doing dodgy shit like that, then you've got to be like, is this somebody that I would ever trust in? Because if they're doing that now, then who's to say that they're not going to do that with me? Be like doing things secretly behind my back. So we all probably know these things deep down, but oftentimes we ignore it until something really bad happens, and then we get that kind of, sort of like, lesson. We get that life lesson, and we can take it on board and be like, it's like, okay, well, I need to just be careful next time and not let any bad things happen, because it just isn't worth it. I don't want to go through that again. But some people will just have to go through it. Like I sometimes have to go through certain things. It's like, for example, I rolled my bike out too far a couple of times, and I had to get picked up, and it was not a good experience. I was just like, it just feels like embarrassing that you're just doing something like that and then having to be picked up. It's kind of shameful, whatever, and after that it's like, okay, I need to be careful. I need to plan things out more so I don't end up in that situation, because it could even be dangerous if you do it too much, and then you end up getting carried away, and then it's just, you've got to really really sort of be careful with these sort of things. And oftentimes I would just kind of ignore advice and just be kind of like in my own sort of like head of like, oh, well, this is the way I'm going to do it. I don't care what you have to say. And I just wouldn't really take it too seriously. And then something would happen, and it's like, oh shit, maybe I should have taken it more seriously. But what do you guys think? Because some people say, wisdom comes, I would say wisdom comes from experience, 100%. If you haven't experienced it, then are you truly wise to it? Because then it's just second-hand knowledge then, isn't it? As opposed to wisdom. Hit the like button, guys. We've got 7 people watching, so hope you're all having a good day today. But yeah, but there's like I said, people online are not to be trusted until you meet them, I would say, because there could be anybody, and even people you meet, oftentimes they're not what they say they are either. They're oftentimes putting on a facade. So imagine what people online are going to be like, how fake they are. People will just try and play games with you and stuff, you know. A lot of them are just trying to play mind games and just get inside your head, try to get you to think that you're not worthy or whatever, or to get you to obsess over somebody because they're, you know, like craving the attention and the validation. But, you know, once you've been through something like that, then you should be wise enough to then not let it happen again. Because it's kind of embarrassing, just kind of, it's also just, it's just really like, it can be demoralizing and you feel like you've wasted your time, but you have to see the silver lining, and it's a lesson learned. And every time you go through something like that, you also get stronger at being able to just like deal with it. That you're going to get to a point where you become almost like indifferent. So when something annoying happens, you can sort of just be like, okay, whatever. Sometimes when we have adversities in life, that, you know, it's good because then over time we build up a more of a tolerance to them, because it's like, okay, well, this is kind of what I was expecting to happen anyway. You just become used to it. But when things happen for the first time, it can be quite, you know, bad. It's just like anything really, you know, any kind of new, even like a new, you know, like say a habit or whatever. Say you start going working out, it can be difficult at first because you're new to it. You know, it's a stress on the body that you haven't had before, and you know, it can be difficult. But over time, and then you get used to it, and you start to enjoy it more. So it's just, things will get better, is what I'm saying. Things will improve over time if you just have the faith in that. What do you mean, Blime? Hi, old Pop. How are you doing? Anyway, so, good. Alright, cool. So anyway, welcome in here. What's your name, if you don't mind me asking? So like I said, you know, we just have to sometimes go through lessons that are, you know, like a bit of pill to swallow kind of thing, but, you know, it's just one of those things. But over time, we become wiser, we become just better at dealing with adversity, and just, you know, you just start to learn to just live more in the present and not worry too much about things, and just, yeah, because you don't know what's around the corner, and that's fine. Anyway, hit the like button. We've got 12 people watching and 2 likes, so if you don't mind, just give me a like, and also subscribe if you haven't already. That would be really appreciated. So we just have to just be okay with setbacks, and just like accept that that's a part of life, and there's a lesson to be learned from it, because otherwise we just get older and then we haven't learned anything. A lot of people are afraid of heartbreaks, are afraid of disappointments, but these are necessary as a part of our growth to become more wise. Yeah. Oh, it's not showing up on your screen. How come? I don't know, but things happen, and you could say it happens for a reason. I don't necessarily know if I believe that, you know, in things like fate or whatever, but I'm open-minded. But it's just, you know, some people believe that, you know, that when you go through something, that it's there for a reason, that it's there to, you know, to make you learn a lesson. But, you know, it's just, but then again, I'll see horrible things happening to people. Well, I'll see, and I'm like, why did that happen to them? You know, what did they do to deserve that? You know, why did nature or God or whoever make that happen to that person? You know? And people say, oh, it's not God that's done that. Well, I'd say, well, yeah, it is, because he created everything, and according to, you know, these people. So, you know, so like, why did they, you know, so I don't necessarily think that there's some kind of divine sort of thing going on that's, you know, helping teach people lessons, because why is there a need for all the suffering and unnecessary suffering where there's like people, you know, like suffering for the last decades of their life, just completely like immobilized or whatever, and they're not having a good time, you know? Why is that necessary? I just give you a like, but it's hidden behind the 3 dots. Alright, that's odd, because yeah, we only like 2 likes, it's saying, but yeah, but whatever, you know, it's just, but hopefully, you know, just get like a, you know, chat going on and try and get people to hang around and interact and get like a discussion or going on or something, but yeah, I just think that, you know, just to not like let it defeat you, you know, whatever happens, don't let it defeat you, don't let it, you know, it's hard sometimes, because, you know, it's just, especially when you see setback after setback, you know, and it's like, there doesn't seem to be any, you know, progression going forward, there doesn't seem to be much of like anything good happening, but, you know, it doesn't have to be that way forever. It's just sometimes these things happen as part of, it's like, you know, we all have like growing pains and stuff like that. It's just, you know, things will happen that, hello Martin, how are you today? I hope you're well. Thank you for the likes. So, you know, we all get these growing pains, that we have these things that stumbling blocks and whatever. It's just a natural part of our growth, you know, so, you know, the road to success is a windy one. It's not straight. We take turns, we take left turns. You know, it's not going to be a straight road. Sometimes we have to go through these, you know, like inconveniences, you could call them, but they're like, you could say necessary inconveniences at times. They are part of our learning, they are part of our growth. We become wiser, we become able to discern better, it improves our instincts and things, because I think instincts are just like, I mean, some people talk about like instincts or something like sixth sense or something. I believe it's more just like in terms of, you know, like life experience, that we have a sort of, you know, kind of like a, you could say like a sort of, we all have it sort of like indexed into us sort of thing, if you will. Hello, the Bronx. How are you doing? Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's like cool band, isn't it? Yeah. We have this like, you know, indexed into us. We have, you know, it's sort of like inside our mind of like, and our gut, whatever you want to believe. I mean that we have all these experiences, all the past inside us that shapes how we react. So if we have bad experiences, that gives us like trauma or something, and then that is something that can make us very cautious in life, and it can give us anxiety to just even things that would not really be, sounds glitchy, hang on, let me just, is that any better? So I'm just saying, you know, we sort of, you know, talking about the anxieties and stuff, and like when we've been through something really bad, that could then cause us anxiety. So you could say that these sort of experiences are not good and we shouldn't be going through them if it leads you to be overly cautious and overly anxious about things. And but yeah, hopefully the sound's better now, but hit the like button, guys. Always something has to go wrong, but you know, just have to deal with it. I try not to freak out about things anymore. It's just one of those things, isn't it, you know? But yeah, it's just, we've just got to, I don't know, we want to try and avoid catastrophic kind of experiences, but there's certain things that we should not be afraid of if that make us more wise to things. But we're not like 100% in control of things and all that, but obviously we have to just protect ourselves from any like real like bad things, but there's certain risks that I think we should be willing to take. because it can give us lessons that we can learn from. And sometimes we can be afraid to like lose money, for example. We can be afraid to invest in something for the fear of it not working out. But you have to take the lesson from that, and I think there's a value to that, of learning a lesson that you'll have for life. Then, you know, you'll remember that for life. You'll have that, be like, okay, well, that went wrong. I know now to not do it that way, and I'll have to, you know, change it up. And, you know, we shouldn't see failure as, that means that you're a failure. Just because you failed doesn't mean that you're a failure, because we shouldn't define ourselves by where we are currently, because we are constantly evolving. So by defining yourself as that, all you're doing is you're actually self-fulfilling your own prophecy by, you know, creating this narrative that you're a failure, when really, you know, there's like, that's not the case. You're just on your way to success, but you just hit a stumbling block or whatever, and that's fine. You know, it's just okay, you're one step closer there. You just have to just keep on moving forward. Just keep on improving at whatever you're trying to do. You lost this time, that's fine. You know, reevaluate, look at what you can do better, and focus on that. But oftentimes we can just get in our own head and think that, oh, well, it's not worked out so many times, therefore I'm a failure. But, you know, the people that actually won, they didn't have that mindset. They were like so determined that they would do whatever it takes. Like they saw a vision that they were seriously like really wanted it so bad, and they would literally like crawl through broken glass and you know, to get to it. You know, that's how much they wanted it. So a lot of it comes down to like how much of a desire you have and how much you believe in it. You know, because some people would just be like, oh, well, I guess it's not for me because it's not worked out. But how do you know it will never work out? And it's like, yeah, if you're doing things wrong and then it's like, you know, you gotta change it up. You gotta change things up every so often to, you know, if it's not working out, because otherwise because they say like doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results is the first sign of insanity. So you gotta remember that if you want different results, then you're gonna have to try something different. Whether that be, say, for example, you have a YouTube channel and you want it to grow, then you know you're gonna have to change your style, I guess. And as long as you're still being you shouldn't try to be somebody that you're not. But it might mean that you have to, you know, change how you present it or whatever, and so that you can, you know, sort of engage more people, because, you know, if you're not that engaging, then people are just gonna be bored, and then just they're not gonna come back. You know, they're not gonna return to your show or whatever it might be. So that's something I have to work on as well, because if I want results, then I have to do what it takes. You know, I have to learn and adapt. Otherwise, you know, you can't complain, because, you know, we are somewhat at least responsible for where we are, because otherwise, you know, it's like, yeah, it's just anyway. If anybody's still in here, then let me know if you're still watching, people. Is the sound all right now, or is it still glitchy? That people are just kind of not really listening, I guess. I don't know, or they're busy with something else. I hope you all had a good day today, people, or having a good day today. Feel free to ask questions. What is everybody's plans for today then? Anyone got anything interesting planned? Yeah, just keep the chat flowing, guys. Yeah, I don't know, it's just be nice if some more people would show up and hang out with us. Can be a bit difficult when it's like that, you know. But I don't know. It's good to have like some interaction, and just helps me to keep talking and just like, yeah. So, went alright then? Okay. But yeah, just what I'm saying is, you know, we have to like be careful who we trust in. But like I said, you might have to go through a lesson that teaches you that. But yeah, it's just I wish I could just listen to people and just not like just have to go through nonsense and to like learn a lesson. I don't know, but yeah. But the thing is that it can be good when bad shit goes on, because then you'll see who is really on your side. The people who support you, have your back. You know, that they will stick by you through thick and thin. And it's those moments where you can really appreciate those people, because otherwise it's like, you know, you don't know who's really got your back at times. But yeah, yeah, I just want to like, yeah, just it's like appreciate the people who have always been there, because sometimes we can just forget about that. We can be so in our own head that we just be like, oh, you know, like everyone's out to get me and all this shit and all this, oh, nothing ever works out, or whatever negative thoughts that you might be having. But yeah, you need to stop and think, hang on a minute, I've got all these people that, you know, are there to help me and support me, you know, so just try to, you know, shift your focus onto all the good that comes from whatever experience you have. It's like, for example, like, you know, if you're stuck in traffic and some people just go, oh, I'm so fed up, or whatever. It's like, just take the time just to kind of appreciate your surroundings. You know, there's always a way to look at things in a positive way. No matter what happens, you can sort of just try to, you know, sort of perceive it in a positive way, instead of just getting all bitter and angry and whatever, or frustrated, because there's just no need for that, really, is there? It's not necessary. It's like, so it's like when people take offense to things. It's like offense is taken, not given. You don't have to take offense to it. You can just let it go over your head. You know, you don't have to. No one forces you to take offense to it. Anyway, thank you for the likes, guys. Who's in here then? So, yeah, so it's like, you know, you can just choose to not be offended. And that can be easier said than done, but you have to learn to be positive and not let outside opinions affect you. Because everyone's going to have one, and they're going to say something that you don't agree with, but that's fine, you know, because if you're confident enough in yourself and what you believe in, then you shouldn't let these things bother you, you know, because, you know, life's too short to be worrying about these sorts of things. Hi, Christian, how you doing from New Zealand? Yeah. Yeah, the temperature is 67 Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's like I don't know how, it probably sounded bad, but yeah, yeah, New Zealand. Yeah, it's like 2 islands, isn't it? North and South Island. Yeah, I just know that like in New Zealand they pretty much have like, it's like the climate is like all 5 continents or whatever in like one like country, where it's got like ski resorts in one part, and then it's got like, and then in the North Island there's like or is it North? Yeah, I think North Island, and it can be quite hot at times. So it's just like, yeah, the amount of difference just in those little islands is yeah. But hope you do well anyway. But yeah, I don't know if I'd go there. Probably maybe at some point if it's like, you know, I wouldn't really put it on top of my bucket list, I don't think, but I guess it'd be good to go just to say I've been, but I don't know if there's anything specific there that's like special to go and see. Maybe there is, you'd have to let me know about that, but and it looks like it's got some nice mountains and stuff, but there's like that in other countries, like the Alps, for example. Yeah, I'd like to go to see that. Switzerland would be nice to go to, and also northern Italy's got some like nice places like with the lakes and stuff as well, like Lake Garda and Lake Como. I'd like to go see that actually, but yeah, there's a lot of places in Italy I'd like to go, like, you know, southern Italy as well, like but yeah, I don't know. I just don't really have anyone to go traveling with at the moment. I don't really want to be doing it by myself. But I've kind of come to a point where it's like, I'm okay, you know. It's like, even just traveling around the UK, there's a lot of things I haven't seen, so, you know, maybe I could do that. But yeah, just, I don't know. Hope you're all having a blessed day anyway. Got 7 people watching, so if you're in here, let me know. People tend to just kind of not say much when they're there, so it'd be nice to have someone say something. And it's 4 now, so yeah. I don't know, it's not glitching it still, is it? Hopefully not. Let me know. What is everybody up to today then? Feel free to ask questions. Hello Tiger, how you doing? So yeah, just thought I'd come on here for a while. What are you up to today? Anything interesting? Very quiet day for me today, really. So I thought, you know, I'd just come on live for a bit and just see who shows up and maybe have a chat. So just, yeah. Oh, that's good then. Everybody okay then? Let me know how you're all doing. If you've got any questions, put them in the chat. Yeah, just, I don't know. Yeah. Just like hard to get an audience in here, really. Oh, really? Yeah, same. It's just kind of a boring day today, really, but whatever. What do you guys want to talk about then? Has anyone got anything they want to talk about, I guess? I don't know. feel free to ask questions, guys. I probably won't be on here too long because it's just slow and just, yeah. Maybe I'll just pop in somewhere else, I don't know, but it seems like people feel like, I don't know, probably got better things to do or something. A lot of them probably out of work anyway, but yeah, it says I had 95 views on the live, but not very many of them stuck around. Yeah, I know it's difficult sometimes to know what to say, but I just kind of feel a bit, I don't know. You could say I feel a bit mentally just burnt out and just kind of feeling kind of uninspired, really. It can be difficult, you know, sometimes when you're feeling like that and you just don't know what to do and you're just feeling like anything that you do will just end up, well, thank you for stopping by. Anything you do is just going to end up in failure. It's difficult, and it's like, I know that doesn't have to be that way, but it's hard, you know. But sometimes it's my own fault, though. This is the thing, and it's like sometimes it can be hard just to get out your own head or whatever, and just, you know, I would just like doubt myself. You know, if I've tried something for so long and then nothing happens, and then you think, okay, well maybe this isn't the right path, then, and you just give up. But you know, some people might have give up at the wrong time, and then if they'd have kept going, they could have actually gotten somewhere. You hear these stories of these like business tycoons or whatever. I'm not saying people should become like that, but you know, it's just a lot of them, they went through a lot of failure to get to where they needed to be. They were like having to go through lots of trials and tribulations, and it's not easy. So yeah, it's just nothing in life is easy that's worth having. So if it was so easy, then everyone would have it, and it would be kind of, wouldn't feel like it's worth anything. So like I said, if you want success, then you have to be doing what nobody else really wants to do. Yeah, we all wish we knew the answers, but sometimes we're just left wondering, and I hate it when I don't have answers to things, because it's just, I'm just left wondering, I'm just left in the dark and just feel like helpless, because they say knowledge is power. Well, but then oftentimes we might get answers, but you still feel powerless because there's just nothing that you can do with that. Yeah, okay, I have the answers now, but I still feel like there's no power to it, because I don't know how to apply that knowledge. If you see what I mean, it's like, so knowledge is power, yeah, there's some truth to that, but it's oversimplified, and oftentimes there is no power in just knowledge itself. You have to know how to use it. And sometimes there's nothing that you can really do with it. It's just, okay, it's great to know that, but how is that going to help me in my day-to-day life? So, yeah, it's one of those things, really, but yeah. Hit the like button, everybody. Thank you for the 6 likes. But yeah, sometimes I feel kind of like, I don't know, just hopeless. But it's hard sometimes that, yeah, it's just going to be quite, I don't know, it's just, yeah. But, I don't know, as I get all these things in my head of like, you know, I'll be like, in bed and just like, you know, just like, thinking about things, ruminating, and just thinking about where my life is going and that it's not where I want it to be and all this kind of stuff, and you're just kind of torturing yourself with these thoughts and just just it's like, but you have to let go of that, and the more you're holding on to these negative thoughts, then the more that they have a hold of you. It's just, so we have to be careful not to let these thoughts rule over us. This is how meditation could help, but it can only do so much though. So I find that, it could help a bit, but it can only do so much, I think. Because you have to get to the root of why. You have to get to the root of why is it that I feel the need to be better. And I think a lot of it comes down to just childhood, to be honest. A lot of it comes down to never really fitting in well, and then there's this sense of like, I'm going to compensate for that by trying to be successful now or something, and Tundra, I still exercise in the heat. It's like, I'm not gonna make an excuse to not exercise in the heat, but I hope you're doing well anyway. So I'm not gonna make any excuses to not exercise. I think that's what separates like those who really want it from those who don't want it. If you want to be fit and healthy, then you're gonna do it no matter what. You'll find a way to do it. Even if you have to just keep drinking water and whatever, it's like, I'm still gonna do it. Even if it's like, 34C here so hot. Yeah, it's been about, I think it got in the 30s the other day, but it's cooled down now. It got down to like 24, I think, yesterday, and I think it's even lower than that today. But there's this humidity though, and it's quite muggy. Let's have a look. It's 17 at the moment, goes up to 20, but it's kind of hovering around the 20 figure for the next weeks now, so it's going to be more kind of fresh feeling, I guess, but there's quite a high level of humidity today. It's like 17 at 83% humidity, which is just really, really humid, so for that sort of temperature anyway. I think, I don't know if there's going to be some rain or not, but it's only been a few days, so it's not too bad. But 34 degrees is hot though for the UK. It's not that often that we get that hot really, but it's usually short-lived when it happens. But I was just talking about lessons in life and going through trials and tribulations and just being able to just deal with all that and just accepting that sometimes these are necessary parts of our growth. And things will get better over time, it's just, we have to just really just, sometimes we have to reflect and just look at where we've gone wrong, and then and then we can grow. And something is, some people can even go through the hard lessons and still not grow from it. It's like they're just, I guess it depends on how people are wired. I don't know, but so what are you up to? Are you going live again soon, Tandra? What you guys want to talk about then? You can get into something else if you want. I was listening when I was driving. You said about going to places. Would you go somewhere in the UK and go live maybe? I'm actually thinking about making videos. So I was thinking about like starting a series, but the problem is I'd have to try and see if I can get funds for it, because I've been wanting to do some like kind of like travels at, like 28C here. Where are you at again, Tiger? So yeah. So basically, because I'd like to try different castles, different things. But then if I'm staying in different accommodation, it's all going to cost money. And it's like, it'd be good if I can try and get some funding for it. But it's just, I don't know if I've got the support that I would need for that. So it's just, but it would be nice if I could try and get that going. And I want to start that as soon as possible. Because I'd like to do, is there any club where close to start? There's obviously York's got some stuff to show, but it's just I could do that stuff, but I want to go further afield though, and I would hope that people could actually like try and support it and make it to where I can actually just travel and sort of like live that life, but I don't have enough supporters that would be able to like throw enough money at that. But it's just I'd like to do all kinds of different activities, and not just going at castles, but also doing things that maybe I might even go in a hot air balloon or something. I don't know. Try out lots of different things. Hi, O'Doyle Rules. How you doing? Hey, I'm with you, brother James. The only way to learn is the hard way. Yeah, but it kind of sucks because it's like, but you have to just go through things at times. Because, otherwise have you really learnt it then? Otherwise you just learnt it from somebody else, which is... So I remember there was this person saying that, something like, average men learn from their mistakes, and, great men learn from the mistakes of others. But I'm like, I don't agree with that, because I think wisdom comes from experience. Experiencing it it's like people are trying to avoid the inconveniences, but it's these inconveniences that really are what going to make you grow. So yeah, so how are we doing, guys? I hope you're all well. Welcome to the live. Share this out if you can. About 9 likes, and almost on 10 likes now. So I don't go live very often, just now and again. I noticed. But then you've got Daisy May, who will probably, I'm guessing she'll be on later. Oh, Daisy May. Oh, Tandra. Oh, it's so nice to see you, Tandra. Oh, Jamie Brown. Welcome in, Jamie Brown. I work full time, so I don't get a lot of time yet. So that's the thing, is that people working so much that they don't have much time to do anything else, because they might have other commitments as well outside of work that they have to do. Like, for example, some people have either family, or they've got extended family that they're having to kind of do errands or whatever it might be, and it's like, oftentimes they don't have much time for their own activities, and it's just, so they keep you in this sort of like thing of, they just give you enough time just to be happy enough just to not question the whole thing, and be like, anyway. It's like you hear people working like 12, 14-hour days, and they still aren't making that much money. So how can you be a universal credit millionaire? My YouTube channel only happened by accident. It was never meant to be this way. Oh, really? So how did that happen then? How can you, as in like, was it meant to be more just like a kind of, you just put out some random videos and then like, but then is it more that people wanted you to go live and stuff, and like sometimes you can become kind of like where like people start expecting things of you. We start doing YouTube, then I don't know. But anyway, I hope everyone's well today. Feel free to ask questions. But yeah, how's it going, Charlie? Anyway. I used to go to channels and one day no one was live, so I had this, oh, I will go live, and the rest is history, like, oh yeah. So it's just like a kind of trying to fill in a gap sort of thing. Yeah, because if you're watching people and it's like, okay, well, this is kind of boring, no one's live, so just kind of, yeah, I get that. Yeah. There's that channel, like, Anything Is Possible, which I met through, like, that community, and they get quite a lot of viewers, actually, and they've got a good, like, community there, because they have, like, this fishing community, so if you have a certain kind of niche, then you can do pretty well in it. It's just, oftentimes, people haven't really properly niched down that, yeah, then I did videos and shorts, oh yeah, what's the most views that you've ever had on that, then? So have you got monetized then, or not? Yeah, it's just my subscriber seems to be kind of stuck at the moment. Oh, you didn't get monetized. All right. Yeah, I need to just I might try and get a short out later or something, but I don't know yet what I'm gonna do. But yeah, it's just been a bit slow with the growth and stuff, but it seems like YouTube just isn't really pushing me out that much for the most part. Maybe it's the music. What music? In about on the shorts or something, or you gotta like pick certain songs or something. I don't know which one would be the best, but yeah, I'll have to have a look and see what would be best to try and get people to kind of stick around. I make music and play in my live streams sometimes. Alright. Yeah, so what, you actually make music? Yeah, it's so you're not allowed to play just any song, or you have to, like, because this whole copyright thing, but you can play like certain ones, like copyright free music or something. I don't know, but it's just I've tried doing that, but then they still try to restrict my live or something. I'm like, oh, whatever then. Even the copyright free songs, for some reason, YouTube still, it got flagged as copyright. I'm like, how? How can they do that if it's copyright free music? Doesn't make sense. It's like, what is going on with that, you know? So I'm going through all my lives, taking out the music and going through the videos, because I think I may have a video that I played in a live stream. Yeah, probably a good idea to do that, because you never know, they might try and restrict your lives, get you like a strike or something. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing with YouTube and all that, it's just, they have you like kind of walking on eggshells, basically. You just feel like you can't do right on here. There's always something that you can do wrong, and it's just, it can be draining, and just like, and even if you do all the right things, you still struggle to kind of get anywhere with it. It's just, I don't know. I can see why people just tend to give up a lot. So it feels like it's a lot of work for nothing, a lot of the time. It would help if they just told you, yeah, no, but they won't do that, will they? Yeah. You know? Or whatever, innit? Yeah, so I don't think I'll be on here that much longer. So how are you getting on? I'm alright, I guess. It's just, I don't know. I'll manage, I guess. I think the travel stuff would be good if I can get funds for that, but if I make content and stuff. I don't really do collabs. I mean, I've had people on my live before, but on different channels I've had actually, but I've had like where I've discussed things with people before. Just think of a way of getting more people. I know, but it's not that easy though. It's not that easy to find the right people though, who are just going to actually have bring something good, because some people will just end up ruining it and making it even worse. Especially you get these kind of drunk people coming in, or the trolls or whatever. But I don't want to deal with all that. So it'd be good if you could find someone who's actually good, and that you can just have a good conversation with them. So I'm a bit picky of who I would just get on, really. I just feel like, shouldn't I be able to just get viewers just by me, just me just talking with you guys? I don't know, I don't know. I'm probably just gonna get going, guys. This ain't gonna do any better, is it? So, yeah. I guess I'll be back later then. Alright, thank you, Tandra. I'll see you later. Bye for now.